So I'm listening to, good morning, YouTube. I'm listening to this credit advisor, this quick clip on TikTok. And the guy was like, how many credit cards do you think I should have? And the guy was like, three, five, eight. And the guy says, I have, I think if I'm stretching it, over 30 or 20 credit cards. And he said he uses them on a consistent basis, and he has to blah blah blah. I'm going to tell you the rule about credit. I do consider myself to be a financial guru of sorts. Yes, I filed bankruptcy before, so has Donald Trump. Yes, I know how to build credit. You don't have to pay anybody $2,000. You can do it for free. You can do credit repair for free. You can do all of these things free of charge in a very, very quick manner of time. I did this for my cousin, and she said, I'm about to pay somebody $1,600 to boost. I said, no, you don't. You do A, B, C, and D. And folks, she did it. Ask my wife. She might be watching. I said, here, give me this. I'm gonna put your name on all this, blah, 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 all this. I said, number one, when I go in to buy a vehicle, I never have to put a down payment on the vehicle, ever. Oh, matter of fact, excuse me, one time when I took in a depreciated vehicle, and I had to account for the loan to value of the vehicle I was trading in. I can understand that. But you should never have to go in and put any down payment on a vehicle. If you have a certain credit score. The last vehicle I bought went in, and well, two things you're going to need: credit score and income. Let's not forget the big income word. Your income and your debt to ratio. Sometimes you don't even need income. They just need to be able to see that you can afford the vehicle. Housing is a little bit different, and we'll discuss that. But what he failed to mention, the first rule of credit is to make sure that you can afford to pay your credit card bills. Not only pay your credit card bills, but that you can pay in full every single month. Treat your credit cards like American Express. American Express requires that you pay off the balance in full every month. So if you charge $30,000, they want the $30,000. Make sure that you can look at your job, look at your expenses, make sure that you can afford to pay your credit cards in full. This dog, hey, hold on. Hurry up. You want to make sure that you can pay your credit cards in full every single month. And how you do that is, if you even think about charging something, make sure, I got to give my dog a tap every now and then, she's got ADD. Make sure that if I go into a store, I think one time I went and bought a keyboard. Keyboard was about $2,000. And because of the bankruptcy, I was trying to apply for a Sam Ash card. Sam Ash was like, no, you just filed bankruptcy. Even though I paid my Sam Ash account off in full before the bankruptcy, there's still some clauses. But I had another credit card after bankruptcy, yes, with a sustainable limit of three times that amount. And I said, I can either buy this keyboard in cash, or I can use the bank's money. But before I bought that keyboard on credit, I can look down in my wallet, and this is not a flex, and I made sure I had the cash on me, on my person, to buy that keyboard. That is the first rule of thumb. If you do not have the cash to pay for it in person on that day, you should not be putting it on credit. That's just my perspective. Shouldn't be. My wife was mentioning something about of flights. You know, let's get an airline card so you can get flight points. That is probably one of, if you're a frequent flyer and you don't have the frequent flyer business money to account for that, don't you get a flight card? That is one of the quickest ways to add up. Trust me, had two of them. And yeah, I paid. I was a consistent payer of my bills on time. Not was, but am. You should not have those cards. So the first rule about credit cards, again, is make sure you can afford your credit cards. Make sure you can afford them. Even if you start off with a $300 limit, make sure you can charge, $150, half that amount, and you can afford the credit card. If you cannot afford that, you should not be getting the credit card. If you're not a responsible spender, remember, there's two things also. There's buying power, and then there's spending power. If you have credit cards and you use them on a consistent basis, you are known as you have spending power. But you got to make sure that your buying power matches your spending power. A woman told me this all the time. She was an older woman, and she said, well, you have spending power when you first start off. You are going to get to the age where you have buying power, where you're able to go in there and buy anything that you want with. Come here. Sit. Stop it. Stop acting up on me. Come on. You want to make sure that you go in there and that you can, again, buy anything that you want. So again, rule number one, make sure that you can buy it with cash before you charge it on credit. If you cannot do it, you should not be putting it on credit that day. Save up the money. Then once you have the cash, then put it on your credit card. Pay the credit card off in full before the billing cycle, or once it hits the billing cycle. That is an excellent way to start boosting your credit. But again, make sure you can afford what you're charging. Peace.